All right. So I do not teach CAD. I don't work in an environment in which I use CAD. I do it mainly as a hobby and to design things for 3D printing. And I haven't even worked CAD adjacent. So but what I have done is I have been an adult educator for over 20 years with highly technical skills and information. And I will say that if you are a CAD instructor and you teach a class where there could be people that have never used a CAD program before, you should give them some resources that you curate as being fundamentally sound when giving them lessons. You know, too many times people come onto Reddit groups and other groups and say like, "Oh, I'd have this project. It's due tomorrow. I don't know anything about CAD. I've never used it." Now, I think probably 90% of the time we could just assume that that's just someone that maybe didn't pay attention or is understating, how much they know or should know at this point. But I do know that some people are just pretty deficient in teaching fundamental skills in the classes that they are instructors in. So this is about slots. You can cut slots, half slots, full slots into features. You can design them into sketches. There are lots of different ways to do it, and I think the take home there is just that. There are a ton of different ways to do just about everything in just about every CAD program, SolidWorks included. So just because this could be a very beginner type of a lesson, let's start from the beginning. Setting up a sketch. There's a lot of different ways to do that. You can click on the top plane and that pops up and I can sketch from there. I can right mouse button on the plane itself, or I can come up here and hit sketch. Any of those ways does the same thing. We start a sketch. What I did here was I S keyed. That's why I have this menu here. I can right mouse button and customize that, and I've done so with a whole bunch of things that I use because I'm lazy and I just want to hit the S key and do most of the stuff that I'm going to do. I could also do it this way. If I want to draw a center rectangle, I could come up to this fly down menu here, choose center rectangle, and then go from there. I also have my auto dimensions on, which you do in settings, and I'm not going to go through that right now, but when I click on that, I can auto dimension this. Let's go 100 here and 140 there. Okay, so if I had a design that started with a base of this rectangle and I needed to design other things, including a a slot cutout here, this is how I would do that. I would S key and hit the slot, or let me escape out of that, or come up here and choose this slot, come down there. I'm just going to do it right on the midline. I'm going to say from center point to center point, it's going to be about, let's go 20 millimeters here. And then out to the side, let's just call this a 15, like that, all right? So that, for slots, unfortunately, the auto dimension just gives me the starting point. I still have to define it, because if you change anything in slots, it changes all the dimensions and you got to redimension anyway. So we're going to go 15 and then we're going to go 20. Boom. Okay, so now if I went to escape out of that, extrude this, I could do it on the S key menu like that, or I could come up here. Well, where is it up here? Well, the extrude boss is a features tool, so I'd have to click on features, extrude boss. And if you notice, nothing's highlighted, but if I hover over things, things get highlighted. That's because this select contours button, box is automatically chosen. And SolidWorks knew that just based on the sketch itself. There were multiple components to the sketch, and SolidWorks knew that I'd probably be choosing one of those, so it gave me that option. I could choose to just extrude parts of this slot, this one or this one, and see how that line there separated the slot out, or, which is what I'm going to do, extrude the main base here. And if you notice, what it's showing me in the preview is that that slot is being extruded, and that's fine. I could even do something weird if I wanted to. Choose that too. And now I'll have that piece, this piece extruded, but not that little center. That's not what this exercise is about, so I'm just going to unclick that, hit enter, or something like that. Or I could hit this checkbox, or I could hit this checkbox. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And boom. Let's go top. And I have that cut out there. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to do these slots. I'm just going to click on, I'm going to right mouse button on that to start a sketch on the top of this feature. Or I could just choose the top plane again and do a sketch. I'm going to do it this way. So let's draw one from scratch. I'm going to do it the complicated way and then the not so complicated way. So we're going to do this up like that. And let's say we want to go up 20, right? And then I'm not going to do the fancy trick that I'll show you in a second. It's not fancy at all, but I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to hit escape and then hit enter, or you know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to hit enter here. I'm going to just draw a box. And I decided to just draw all four corners. So I'm going to go, let's go 15 here. And let's go down here, right? And then close it off there. Escape. I want this to be lined up with the center line. Oh, I wasn't out of that. I'll line this up with the center line. Click on that, hit control, click on the axis, make it vertical, boom. So I'm fully defined here, but what about this little circular part? So there's a few different ways to do this. The way I would suggest it is click on 3-point arc, choose this point, choose that point, choose that, and choose the radius. So let's say the radius we want to be 7.5. I'm just choosing that right now. It's there's nothing fancy about that. So you would base your radius on whatever the sketch said. So this is fully defined. So now I don't have to do anything else with this. I could trim this out and make it look neat, or I could S key and extrude base like that. Or if I wanted to extrude up here, I would just need to remember to click on features, hit extrude cut. I said extrude base, I meant extrude cut, and do that. Okay, so SolidWorks knows there's a bunch of things here. I need to choose some stuff. So I'm going to choose that and that. And I'm going to go through all. And if you look at the preview, it goes through all. So if I click on the checkbox here, you get the same thing. So that's another way to do it. Let's say we wanted to do something in the center here. I'm going to right mouse button on that, click on sketch. I'm going to orient myself to the sketch. And let's say right in the middle, we wanted a half thing like this. I could draw it just like I drew this, or I could do a slot. I'm going to line it up. If that line didn't pop up, I could just hit go and hover over this and then draw myself out there. Let's go like that. Let's go like this. We're going to go 15. Oh no, I think we did 20. I'm going to go up. The radius is going to be 15. I'm going to dimension those this way. Boom. Like that. And boom. Like that. Oops. Let's go here like that. And boom. Oh, cancel. Boom. All right. Let's go like this. I'm going to line this up. Make sure it's lined up with the origin. Like that. And now let's say okay, so before I show you the little line to make so I can extrude that to look just like these, if you notice, it says underdefined here. And that's what this blue or these blue lines mean. It's underdefined. So how do I figure that out? Well, I could just start putting dimensions in and constraining things and getting a bunch of errors, or I can just grab the blue line and move it. Okay, the whole thing moves. Well, that's because this entire slot's not anchored. It's in space. So I'm going to dimension that to the origin. Click on that, and now we're fully defined. So now, well, we don't want this whole slot. We just want the same size as this, but right in the middle. So I'm going to either right or S key and hit line, or come up here and hit line and just draw the line from here to here. Escape. Fully defined. I'm going to S key, hit extrude cut, or I could have chosen extrude cut up here. I need to select contours. Again, there's too many things here, and SolidWorks is going to make me choose. So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to click enter. And now I have one right in the middle. So you don't have to do a bunch of trimming if you don't want to. You just got to make sure that you're selecting contours. And there are a lot of different ways to put slots, half slots, squares with circles. You could even do a, I could do this real quick. Let me just do I did a center square. Since that's in the center, I'm going to go 40 here, which will bring it up 20. And I think, what do we do, 15? Like that. And now I could go here, here, and 7.5. Like that. Like that there. We'll go like this. I got to dimension this out to get it fully defined, like that here. That's fine. Okay, fully defined. There we go. I can even do that. Extrude cut this out. It's going to make me select. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to select that. And I'm going to hit enter. Same thing. Slightly different ways. So you got lots of different options for drawing this stuff. Just know that if you understand the select contours piece to your features, extruded base, extrude cut, and some other things, you will have a lot of options, and you don't have to waste a lot of time trimming stuff out. And then what'll happen is, if I click on the sketch, then I see exactly everything. Let's say you have a complex sketch and you want to refer to that. Well, if I trimmed everything out, I wouldn't have been able to see exactly what was on the sketch in the assignment or lesson. So that's that. Hope it helps. Keep asking questions, and whenever possible, try to do a couple things, make a couple mistakes, so your questions can be more specific.